particularly in this area of the world, we're very much at Mother Nature's hands. This wheat is screaming it needs to come out of this field.
Steele Byrum knows you can't rush nature. That's just a fact about farming. But not long ago, this Virginia native wasn't even sure about choosing this way of life. After college, Steele got a well-paying job with a major food company. But something drew him back to the soil and to a family business stretching back 4 generations.
The generation gap between my grandfather and me, he could work harder than his neighbor and make a viable living. My ability to make a living farming is going to be a lot more outsmarting markets and being a step ahead of what's going on worldwide.
Right behind you in that plastic bag. Don't bump your head on it, because if been a snake, it would have ate you up.
Being a step ahead of nature or of world commodity prices is one of the many things Steele's learning from his father. He's now growing wheat, cotton, and soybeans on his farm just down the road from his dad. Cecil Byrum says he didn't demand or even expect his son to return to farming, but he admits to quietly rejoicing when it happened.
There is nothing that I know of that's more honorable than having a son that wants to do what you did to make a living, I think it's very important because nobody's going to have a more vested interest in the future of a farm than a family member. We're going to divide up the wheat harvest crew and we'll put you spraying the cotton.
Today's a pretty typical day. All of the morning's best laid plans are quickly changing. They'd hoped to harvest the winter wheat, but the seeds and the ground are still too moist from recent rains. Instead, they'll spray some much-needed fertilizer on their cotton fields. It's a crop that's making a comeback in Virginia. The Byrums invested heavily in cotton after worldwide competition started impacting Virginia's peanut growing industry. It's a safer bet than corn during the years when the rain is scarce.
Because if water can cut off here in 2 weeks' time, and you just have a beautiful crop of corn just burn up and turn to nothing. Where the cotton tends to hold on a little longer.
This area of the world, they say you're never more than 10 days away from a drought. We have very fertile, very productive soil, but it's very thirsty land. We're looking at a little more clay and sand here. We're looking at a little heavier soil type right here, and they're just 2 rows apart.
Walk the fields with Steele Byrum and you quickly discover some of farming's many challenges, varying soils with different water needs, and threats like this fast-growing pigweed.
We can see some pigweed starting to break ground here. These 2 may have broken the ground last night. Tomorrow, that's going to look more like this, and then the day after that, it's going to look more like that. Now, this is 3 days of growth. This pigweed is going to grow 26 inches tall, and it's going to shade out your cotton, and you won't even know that there's a cotton field here.
For the Byrums, modern farming means going easy on the environment. They practice no-till farming, where residue from the last crop is left on the ground to prevent erosion, provide more soil nutrients, and reduce evaporation. And modern technology like GPS positioning means using no more than what's needed to feed the soil and fight pests. It's called precision agriculture.
There's nobody that has more of an interest in a safe, sound, secure environment than the farmers in the rural areas to protect their areas, protect this for our families and for our neighbors.
With all of farming's challenges, this father and son must share resources. They've also learned this family's future requires consensus when tough decisions demand it. And it is strengthened by a closeness common to this way of life.
It really is a mixture of new ideas and old ideas. It seems like sometimes we have 1 foot on the brake and 1 foot on the gas, but I mean, when you do have disagreements and all, it's that family thread that brings you back together, that bonds you together.
Farming is a labor of love. It's been good. It's been good to me. It's been good for my family life. It's a huge responsibility, and I take a lot of joy and pride in trying to keep it going.